Alrighty, so this is the final video for my motor behavior new skill project. This is the reflective audio journaling video for my pistol squat. So pistol squat obviously was my new skill, and I just kind of thought the pistol squat was interesting. I'd seen people perform the lift, and I just thought, what the heck, let me give this a shot to kind of maybe learn it as my new skill. So, as in terms of the classification of my skill, I felt that the pistol squat would fit as a discrete skill simply because it has a defined beginning and a defined end point. So, you know when the lift is starting and you know when the lift has ended. And then, in addition to that, it's also a short duration movement, so it could be done in a matter of seconds. And that all kind of fits in with the classifications of a discrete skill. And then, as in terms of my practice, I practice a lot in my house, well, pretty much only in my house, mainly. So that is a close environment because it's stable and predictable. As in terms of the goals for my new skill, I kept them pretty simple. It was more focusing on how I can perform the lift perfectly to a T. So if someone was watching, they'd be like, holy crap, that's perfect. So to dive deeper, what I mean is, could I perform the proper depth of the lift? Could I get all the way down below parallel and then drive back up? So that was my first goal, to see if I could do that. When I couldn't do that without any help, I went to, could I do it with assistance? So it was, could I perform the entire lift with assistance, meaning like, can I hold the guardrail and do the pistol squat up and down? When I could do that, it went to, could I perform the lift with little to no assistance? So like maybe holding the rail on the way down, but on the way back up, kind of letting go of it so I can kind of get used to how it feels. And then of course the last and most important goal was, could I perform the entire lift without any help or assistance whatsoever? So that was all my goals for the pistol squat itself. Now, the process of the pistol squat kind of differed a little bit, where I took two different steps per se. So what I mean by this is, I decided, you know what the heck, I've never tried it. Let me just try this out on my own, and I'll try my own processes. And if that doesn't work, I'll look to other things in order to help me. So, of course, just trying the lift, my process was, let's just give it a shot. If I could do it, awesome. If I can't, then we'll see what we do. So I gave it a shot, couldn't do it. So then I focused more on like big help from assistance. So like holding the guardrail, trying to do a bunch of pistol squats to get comfortable and get more strength in those muscles that maybe usually aren't used. So I tried that for a while, and when I was doing great with the assistance and then a little bit less assistance, I tried the pistol squat again with no help at all. And when I felt like I wasn't getting the right changes that I wanted to perform the lift perfectly, I went and screw it, let me go to the godly place of information, YouTube. So I looked up some YouTube videos, looked at people who could do the lift, and saw what they did. So it was more a big emphasis on really just the mobility of the lift. So like, okay, sit down in a deep squat first. If you could sit in a deep squat comfortably, this is good. If not, we'll work on these things. So I practiced mainly just sitting in a deep squat a lot, did a lot of rolling out, a lot of hip work. I did stretches for my ankle because there's a lot of dorsiflexion in the lift. So ankle mobility type stuff, and then transfer tasks like pistol squats into a chair. So you kind of sit down into a chair. Then you kind of like stand up on an elevated surface to do an elevated pistol squat. It's easier to help kind of get that hip flexion without having to worry about the ground too much. So I dealt with all sort of those kind of regressions, and in essence, to help kind of boost my lift. And that was my main processes of pistol squat. And then in terms of briefly identifying Fitz and Bernstein's perspectives, Fitz is kind of dealt more with like the perceptual motor learning aspect of performance or like practice, and then Bernstein's was more that combination of motor control and that biomechanical perspective of performing, of just performance. So I felt like seeing Fitz's kind of style dealt more with me because it talked a little bit about kind of regressing performance, and like kind of progression. So I definitely had to regress my performance in a way, kind of do simpler sort of lifts and different sort of regressions in order to progress my the performance of the pistol squat to a perfect kind of aspect. So, yep, that's it.